The landscape of UK pensions is undergoing one of its most significant overhauls in recent memory. If you're already drawing from a pension, or even just beginning to plan for retirement, the changes unfolding right now deserve your close attention. On July 11th, the government introduced a new pension schemes bill that is sending ripples through the industry. At the heart of this bill is a proposal to reorient how pension funds are invested, specifically by encouraging greater allocation toward private markets, particularly within the UK. This shift represents both a bold economic experiment and a deeply controversial turning point. On one hand, policymakers argue that unlocking pension funds for private investment will stimulate national growth, drive job creation, and funnel capital into high-potential domestic enterprises. On the other hand, critics are raising red flags about the implications such changes may have on the independence of pension schemes. For decades, pension trustees have operated under a clearly defined fiduciary duty to prioritize the best financial interests of their members above all else. The new regulatory powers proposed in the bill could introduce competing pressures urging trustees to make investment choices not solely based on financial returns, but influenced by broader governmental objectives. The potential for conflict here is substantial. What happens when trustees are caught between safeguarding member outcomes and supporting national economic strategy? The government may intend to unlock growth, but pensioners may be left to bear the risks. While some believe a balance can be struck, others caution that even a subtle shift in fiduciary norms could alter the risk profile of retirement planning across the country. It is a delicate, high-stakes balancing act, and the consequences of misjudgment could reverberate through the financial futures of millions. Among the most eye-catching developments this week is a surprising move by Nest, the UK's largest auto and pension provider. Nest has announced plans to launch a range of bulk annuity products, an unprecedented move for a provider of its kind. Historically, bulk annuities have been the domain of corporate pension schemes, offering guaranteed income for life in exchange for a lump sum pension pot. Nest's decision to enter this space signals a potential democratization of access to these highly desirable products. By opening up this market to a wider audience, Nest could dramatically reshape retirement planning for ordinary savers. The implications of this move are wide. For future pensioners, it could mean access to more reliable income streams during retirement, reducing anxiety over outliving one's savings. It could also push other providers to innovate or lower costs in response, fostering a more competitive, consumer-friendly marketplace. For Nest's millions of members, this evolution may offer improved flexibility and peace of mind as they plan for their post-working years. But questions linger. Will the new offerings be competitively priced? Will the market adapt in time to meet increasing demand? The answers could redefine how the average Brit approaches retirement. At the same time, the defined contribution investment Forum DCIF has issued a sobering report warning of a deepening conflict between sound investment practice and the increasing pressure for pension schemes to direct funds into UK-based assets. While supporting the national economy is a laudable goal, the DCIF points out that trustees must continue to uphold their core duty to seek the best outcomes for scheme members. The concern is clear. What if domestic investments do not deliver returns comparable to those available in international markets? Sacrificing long-term gains for short-term policy objectives could ultimately harm the very people pensions are designed to protect. The tension between economic policy and investment prudence is growing more acute in light of recent developments. The British Business Bank is set to benefit from a surge in interest from pension schemes seeking to align with the government's call to invest more domestically. This could result in greater funding for infrastructure, innovation, and regional development, but only if pension returns remain strong. Trustees are watching closely, weighing these opportunities against traditional risk assessments. The coming months could determine whether the pivot toward UK-based investments will prove sustainable, or whether it will need recalibration to protect savers' interests. Meanwhile, a long-anticipated policy confirmation has now been made official. The state pension age will gradually rise from 66 to 67 between May 2026 and early 2028. This shift will affect those born between April 6, 1960 and March 5, 1961. Although widely forecasted, the formal announcement marks a key moment, setting into motion the timeline for changes that will impact millions. As people live longer and healthier lives, the government is under pressure to adjust pension policy accordingly. Yet this adjustment inevitably invites concern over future increases. Will 67 remain the upper limit, or could further hikes be introduced in coming decades? Despite this setback, there is a glimmer of good news for retirees. The state pension is still projected to rise under the triple lock mechanism, which ensures that payments increase in line with the highest of wage growth, inflation, or 2.5%. Current estimates suggest a 4.1% increase in April 2026, potentially pushing the full new state pension above £230 per week. This would provide a meaningful financial cushion, especially for retirees who rely predominantly on state support. While the later retirement age may feel like a step backward, the increased payout could help soften the blow for many. In parallel with these policy changes, digital modernization is accelerating. The Department for Work and Pensions has reaffirmed its commitment to launching pension dashboards. By 2026, these platforms will enable individuals to view all their pension accounts, state and private, in one centralized location. This level of transparency is long overdue. Many workers have multiple pensions scattered across employers, and countless pots go unclaimed every year. By simplifying access and visibility, dashboards promise to empower savers, reduce administrative burdens, and unlock forgotten funds. ENCOURAGINGLY. Market dynamics are also shifting in positive directions. Defined benefit schemes are currently seeing stronger funding levels thanks to stable economic conditions and rising gilt yields. Some schemes are even moving into surplus territory. This newfound strength gives trustees additional levers to pull, whether that means reducing employer contributions, increasing member benefits, or implementing risk reduction strategies. While it is still early days, these developments suggest a brighter future for many who have long counted on defined benefit arrangements for their retirement. Sustainability is also climbing the pension agenda. More and more schemes are integrating ESG, environmental, social, and governance criteria into their investment frameworks. Far from being a mere ethical stance, ESG integration is increasingly backed by data suggesting that these assets can outperform traditional ones over time. For savers, this means the opportunity to align financial goals with personal values, achieving strong returns while supporting a more sustainable global economy. It's a convergence of profit and principle that many believe will shape the future of pension investing. New digital tools are also transforming how private pension savers manage their retirement income. Innovations such as flexible drawdown platforms and automated planning software, often incorporating robo-advisors, are giving individuals more control over their withdrawals, fees, and tax efficiency. By offering real-time insights and simpler interfaces, these technologies reduce confusion and empower users to make smarter decisions. For those nearing retirement, this could mean more autonomy, lower costs, and a greater sense of financial security. From a legislative perspective, additional reform is gaining traction in Parliament. MPs are currently reviewing proposals to introduce caps on pension fund charges and mandate full fee transparency. If enacted, this would represent a major leap forward in consumer protection. High fees have long eroded retirement savings unnecessarily, and improved transparency would allow savers to compare providers more effectively. With broad political support, there is a real possibility this reform will become law in the near future, ushering in a more equitable pension system for all. Taken together, these developments paint a vivid picture of a pension system in transition. Change is inevitable and, in some cases, disruptive. A later retirement age may be unwelcome for many, and the reorientation of investment strategy brings risks that must be carefully managed. But the overall direction toward greater transparency, increased flexibility, broader access, and stronger regulatory protections offers real reasons for optimism. A more engaged, empowered, and informed pensioner base is emerging, better equipped to navigate retirement with confidence. For anyone planning their financial future, staying informed is now more important than ever. The choices made today by trustees, regulators, and individuals alike will shape retirement outcomes for decades to come. As new tools, policies, and products enter the marketplace, vigilance, education, and strategic thinking will be key. The pension landscape is evolving rapidly, and the headlines of tomorrow may hold even more transformative news. For those who are prepared, this era of change could usher in a more secure and sustainable retirement than previously imagined.